Alright, we're doing the bilateral hips. We call it the bilateral hips, but it's really everything from your belly button down gets a workout with this. You're going to be doing isometric exercises with one leg while you're doing concentric and eccentric with the other one. And it's from your toes, your feet arches, your ankles, your knees, your calves, your thighs, your hips, your sacrum, your pelvis, your glutes, and your lower back all in one. You're going to be affecting all of them. Now with this exercise, you're going to start off with a low point of origin of pull. And the preferred attachment will be a little cuff like this. The soft side goes in like so. Now, what I use for my patients for a visual reference is I'll take a line and put it down on the ground for them. A target line. One in front and one behind, parallel to the line. So you have three lines equally distance apart. Now, you're going to stand, so you're going to start with the good leg first. You always start with the good side first. So, right leg, you're going to start off facing directly at the point of origin. You can use your left hand to touch the wall with one finger for balance. When you do that, you can bring your right leg forward as far as you can, and then backwards as far as you can. Now, if you notice, I'm not bending forward like this. I'm not breaking at the hips like this. It's easier to do it that way. That's why you try to do it. So what you do is you keep your shoulders up and your butt forward, your hips forward. Go to full flexion. You bring your leg all the way forward and all the way back, using just one finger for balance. Once you get to the point where you can do it without the finger for balance, do it. It makes it more difficult. Try to have a smooth, even contraction all the way through. And I'm doing isometric exercise on my left side of my body, concentric and eccentric on the right. Now, the side that it's hooked to, you turn 90 degrees to the right after you do your 10 reps. So you turn 90 degrees to the right. And again, my left hand is stabilizing. I'm using one finger just far enough away where I can just barely touch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to point my heel at the line. I'm going to keep my heel pointed at the line the entire time. So I'm going to come across like this. What I'm doing is I'm starting with my toe, big toe, pointing at 10 o'clock. And I come across to 12 o'clock at the middle and 2 o'clock at the end. And the entire time I'm pointing my heel at the line. So I'm drawing a line on top of the line with my heel. Now again, I'm doing isometric contractions, internal and external rotation on the left hip, concentric and eccentric on the outside of the legs, the hips, and the ankle, and the feet even, nice and balanced. And once you get to the point where you get the strength built up, you can do this without using your hand for balance, as long as you don't fall. Like that. And again, 90 degrees to the right. So, here, now I'm facing directly away. I'm going to use my right hand for balance behind me now. I shift hands. And now I'm kicking outwards instead of pulling backwards. Now this one's a little bit easier to come out forward. Let your back come way back. Keep your hips and your shoulders on top of your left ankle. Now something that helps some people with this one is if you let your left hip slide to the left. When you do that, it makes it a little bit easier to not hit your foot on the ground. You can bend your knee slightly on this, but don't do just your knee exercise like that. Keep your leg locked and push through your toes. And again, 90 degrees to the right. Now you're going to do the exact same thing in the opposite direction you did facing the other way. Again, I'm using my right hand now. Bring my foot forward, pointing at the line. Go to the left. Go to the right. Left. Right. Steady and smooth. 10 reps. If 10 reps is too much for these, do 5 on everything until it doesn't hurt, and you can do 10. Again, you're starting off at 10 pounds resistance. Follow the same rules to increase the weight and the repetition, just like that. And you're back at your starting point. Now you go to the left hip. This is really good for patients with instability issues in the sacrum and the pelvis. It gives an incredible workout to the glutes, the thighs, the obturators, the hip muscles that really need a lot of help with people that have severe low back pain, chronic issues. Now, again, you can use the right or the left hand, but you do the same thing in the opposite direction here on the left leg, but you turn 90 degrees to the left. You always turn to the side that the leg is attached on. The reason is, when you do this first exercise right here, you're loading up pressure on the inside medial meniscus. A lot of people have pain in that area of their knee because they already have pressure there. So I'm loading it up with pressure now. So I'm going to flex and extend my hip, decompress the knee a little bit, and now I'm going to unload the pressure on the medial meniscus by doing this final exercise in this direction. So make sure you always turn 90 degrees to the side that the cuff is attached to, like so. And that way, now my knee feels good. It had some pressure in it while I was doing the initial one, and then it just released the pressure, and now it feels great. You should never hurt after doing these exercises. If you hurt after doing these exercises, something's wrong, either with you or with the way you're doing the exercises. So you need to see a doctor to make sure that it's not a problem with you, and make sure you're doing the exercises properly. These should not cause you pain. You should not have any sharp pain, any shooting pain. You should just have soreness, stiffness, tightness after doing it, but it shouldn't be painful. It should actually feel better when you finish it if you're doing them properly.